Hey, my name's Zach Farmer. I'm with Hudson Inc. I was wanting to talk to you guys a little bit about the 2510H, some of the adjustments that you guys can make right before you guys get into the field. So one of the adjustments I'd like to talk to you about is on the gauge wheel here itself. So the correct distance in between the gauge wheel and the blade is going to be right at 1/8 of an inch. That's where we're going to want to adjust that into, so that's definitely something that you would want to check there. Another thing that you guys would want to check here is going to be your the actual blade diameter on when to replace that. So 22 3/4 is what it is when it's brand new. At 20 3/4, that's whenever you're going to replace that blade. So if you just string a tape measure across the blade and measure that, then that'll kind of tell you where you're at as far as when you need to replace that. Another thing that you guys might want to take a gander at is going to be the spring that goes right to the top side of the scraper, which is going to be coming into right here. That spring needs to be adjusted to 15/16 of an inch gap right there. And then also on the scraper as well, there's a bolt right down here. It's called the ball bolt, and that ball bolt is going to go right into here on this style unit. That's going to be needing to be torqued at 160 foot-pounds. So if you have an issue with pushing up or dragging up as you're going through the field with debris in front of the unit, that's where you would need to start at. So like I said, the adjustment on the spring at 15/16 of an inch, and the torque on that ball bolt is at 160 foot-pounds. Also, you might want to look at the scraper itself. So as far as it goes, typically we're going to see more wear down in this area here, but a lot of times what happens is it gets so far worn that this bottom portion right here is going to be basically cut off, or worn off I should say. So when you start seeing that, you'll that'll also cause some pushing up and all that good stuff too. So definitely take a look at the scrapers, take a look at the adjustment on the spring up here, and then also the torque spec. That's definitely a big deal. The last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about are the plugs. So these rubber plugs is what basically seals off the hole in the scraper. So you have the product tube right here, and if you without this scraper, without the plug in there, it's going to leave a void right there. So it'll allow gas to come right back up out of this. And so with that being said, you can install this rubber plug, and when you install the rubber plug here, let's see here, that will stop all the gas from coming right back up. So like I said, definitely take a look at those. Some of them have silicone and all that good stuff, but this part right here is close to $6. So definitely look at that. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Justin Bryant, and he'll talk to you a little bit about scraper or beaver tails and sealing up.
All right, I'm Justin Bryant, agronomist with Hudson out of Hopkinsville, Russellville, Clarksville area. Real briefly going to talk to you about making sure we're getting sealed up on the 2510 anhydrous unit and why that's important. First of all, I wanted to show you the beaver tail, what I have here. This is a new one and a worn one. This is responsible for sealing the trench. So I wanted to point out kind of a general idea or general rule of when this needs to be replaced. If you can kind of look at this is the new one here, where the bolt goes through here, the circle around that. When we start wearing into that circle right there, it's about time to replace it. You can see this one here is kind of starting to get a little bit further in. So this one probably should have already been replaced. So just a general rule there for when that needs to be replaced. And finally, just why it's important to make sure you're getting sealed up. As we all know, anhydrous is a liquid under pressure, and as soon as it loses pressure coming out of the machine here, it turns into a gas. So if we're not getting sealed up, we're going to lose it as a vapor to the atmosphere, and as a result lose nitrogen and lose yield on our corn crop.